They turn their emotions way down, not completely off, of course, and they do have empathy and they can empathize. They don't have displayed empathy much, certainly not to the degree that you want, but of course they have empathy. They're not an automaton or a robot. And the reason that they turn their emotions way down is because, honestly, since they're almost overly logical and very task-oriented, tasks of a non-social emotional nature, they purposely turn their emotions way down for two reasons. And I am speaking in generalizations. This is not a one size fits everybody, but this is a good 80% of the time, this is what goes on. Turn the emotions way down because they don't say this, they don't even know they necessarily think this way, but it comes from many years of emotions getting in the way of their logical thinking and their task orientation. It's not that they have no room for emotions. Honestly, they just don't see any need for emotions in their mind. They might say, if they were honest with themselves, emotions just get in the way of completing tasks, and their motto might even be remove emotions and accomplish the task more efficiently. And that goes very much against the grain of, in this case, the NT female brain. So that's one of the things that goes on with respect to turning the emotions way down, is it gets in the way of their logic and of completing non-social emotional tasks. The other reason they've turned their emotions way down is because in many cases, it'd be interesting for you to ask your husband about this later today. A lot of times they knew something was off. Maybe they were labeled a problem child by parents, maybe a problem student by teachers, tried to fit in with peers, oftentimes were ostracized, rejected, bullied, teased. And they came to the conclusion at some point at a very young age that they just can't do the social game. They're no good at it. And so they have kind of gravitated towards a special interest that has nothing to do with people. So that's another reason that they have kind of shut their emotions off. They've learned to kind of be a solo player. And I probably should mention a third one, although this is definitely the minority of cases. Some of the time, in this case, the little boy with autism was actually an empath, believe it or not. And this is the minority of cases, but there are some cases where he was an empath, but he also had high anxiety, and it was too anxiety producing for him to feel other people's feelings. It was too hard for him emotionally. Somebody who already had anxiety, it was too painful to feel other people's pain. And so he learned, probably at an unconscious level, to stop feeling because it was just too painful to feel other people's pain. I call this the paramedic effect. You can't be a good paramedic and be an empath, dealing with blood, gore, dead babies, Lord only knows what throughout the day. You can't be an empath and be a good soldier in times of war. And honestly, with autism and all the traits that we talked about last week, mind blindness, emotions blindness, executive function deficits, anxiety, sensory sensitivities, weak central coherence, problems with prediction, and so on, it's hard to go through life as an autistic individual and also be an empath. So they're kind of incompatible. Hey, this is Mark Hutten. Would you like to schedule a one-on-one Zoom call? Okay, it's so simple. Just look under any of my videos in the description area. Click on this Calendly link. Now you see my calendar. Pick your month, your day, anytime that's available. Enter your name and email address. Then you'll get a follow-up email with the Zoom link on the day and time that you picked. And voila, we will talk.